The movie begins where we see a teenager whose name is Thomas is in a lift and he don't know where the lift is heading. Then it opens. Thomas was surrounded by many boys, so he got confused and start running away from them. He got scared as he don't know where he has been sent. Due to weakness he fell down and then he see that the place where he is sent is surrounded by huge walls. He got scared after seeing those walls. He is not able to figure out what place it is. Next we see that those boys put Thomas in a jail where he met Albie. Albie tried to talk with Thomas but he didn't remember anything himself, even his name. Albie told him he will remember soon. It happens to everyone who comes here. Albie told Thomas about the place and that they all live together here. They cannot go anywhere and the supplies they need came from the lift every month with a new boy, and this time you came with supplies. He told him that we follow some rules here and the most important is never go beyond those walls. Then Thomas see that two boys are coming from the gate. He asked Chuck that why they are allowed to go there. Chuck told him only runners are allowed to go beyond the walls. Thomas go near the gate where Gally stops him, and then Thomas got to know that the gates closes at a particular time. That night when all boys are celebrating, Newt and Thomas talk about maze and Newt told him that maze changes its pattern every night, that's why it's very difficult for us to find a way out. He told that runners are allowed to go into maze to observe the pattern and they are their only hope. He told that if anyone left in the maze and door closes they will not survive because there are some creatures who kill them. They call them grievers. Thomas figured out that the people who sent them here must observing them. Next day when Thomas went into woods for fertilizers, their Ben attacked him. He couldn't understand why he is attacking him. He run away from him and call for help. He reached out of woods, their people stopped Ben and then they found that Ben has been stung, but they didn't understand that how it happens in daylight. Thomas couldn't understand what is happening and why they all are upset. Albie told Thomas that whoever has been stung become aggressive and became dangerous for others. So they all sent him into the maze in the hope that either he will find a way to save himself or the grievers will kill him. They don't want it, but that's the only option they had. Thomas was shocked after seeing this. In the night Thomas dreams about a girl and a voice kept telling him wicked is good. Next morning Thomas saw Albie going into the maze with Minu. As the time passes Thomas got tense that what if they didn't make it. Then they see Albie has been stung and Minu was carrying him. Thomas knew they will not make it, so he run into the maze before door closes. For this action, Minu told Thomas that he did a stupid act and he will die with them. As Albie was unconscious, so Thomas decides we will tie him with roots so that no one will see him. While they were lifting him up, Minu saw that one griever is coming, so he left them and run. Thomas somehow manages to hide himself and then tie Albie. Thomas first time sees a creature like this. Thomas tries to run from the griever, but he didn't know the pattern of maze, so he reaches a dead end. Then he tries to climb over the broken wall, but Griever followed him. He climbs over the wall and jump over plant roots. Griever does the same, but he got stuck in those roots and Thomas manages to run from there. He found Minu and then he planned to kill the griever and did it. Next morning as the door opens everyone was there and they got shocked to see that they all manages to survive. Then Minu told how Thomas killed a griever and everyone becomes stunned. Then they all call for a meeting and Gally try to convince everyone that Thomas breaks the rule and he must be punished. Minu suggested that we should make him a runner. Before the meeting reaches to any conclusion they hear a sound of lift. It was coming and this time there was one girl in the box. She wakes up and called Thomas and again fainted. Thomas and Minu plan to go inside the maze with some other people to inspect the griever body. As they saw the body they observe a red light there. Mingyu found a device which was inside the griever's body. Then they returned to the glade. They grouped together and discussed what we have to do next. Thomas suggested to go inside the maze and Gally said that Thomas should be punished. Newt knew Thomas was right, but make order he punished him to stay one night in pit without food and make him a runner. Then they got informed that the girl is awake. Thomas went to talk to her where he found out that her name is Teresa. Then Thomas explained about the situation and the place where they are now. Teresa gave 2 serums to Thomas. They were in her pockets when she reaches here. Thomas figured out that this serum can cure Albie. They were not sure, but still they thought it worth a try. And finally it works. Next day Mingyu and Thomas went inside the maze. When they reached to section 7, the device automatically got activated. The device acts as an instrument which shows direction. Then they reaches to a place that Mingyu never found. They reaches to a dead end, but then they found a secret door. Then next the door closes and the buildings start falling. At the end they both somehow manages to save their life. Mingyu was shocked as he never assumed anything like this would happen. When they come out of the maze, they told all people about the new secret door and there might be a way from there to go out. Again Gally was not convinced and there is a little argument between Thomas and Gally. Now Albie is cured and awake. They talk with Albie. He now remember everything about the past. He told Thomas that he worked with them. Thomas couldn't relate what Albie is telling and got confused. He didn't know why Albie was so scared. As they hear voices from outside they see. All people get frightened as the doors are not closing and soon all 4 doors are open from all directions and grievers attack them. They are killing everyone one by one and at the end very few people survived. Gally told that Thomas was responsible for all this. And he was with those people. Then Thomas stung himself to remember his past. He then remembered everything and he found himself responsible for all those things. After he wakes he told that Gally was right. Thomas told them about the experiment and that he and Teresa worked with them. Newt told that whatever happens in past has no meaning because none of them remembered anything and now they live a new life and Thomas also is one of them. So get up and finish what you started. Gally tried to offer Thomas and Teresa to the grievers so that they will not kill them. But then Mingyu and all planned to save them. They asked all to join them and go to that secret door to find a way out. Some are convinced and they leave with Thomas. They ran towards the door. Now there's a griever which is guarding the gate. They all attack together and then other grievers were also coming there. While others are fighting, Chuck and Teresa open the secret door and figure out about the code to open the gate. As the gate opens they reached into a long tunnel. They move forward and then they found there are dead bodies and then they reached to the lab. All scientists were dead. They saw monitors and figure out that they were always watching them. Then a video starts playing in which one female scientist explaining that whatever happens to them has a reason. She told about a deadly virus and the disasters that happened in the world. In the end of the video she killed herself and said wicked and good. Then a door opens. But then Gally also reached there. He tried to stop them. They saw he was stung and then he shoots Chuck. Mingyu throw a spear to Gally. Now Chuck was dead. Then a group of soldiers come inside the room and take them into a helicopter. From the helicopter they now see the whole maze and the man tries to calm them down. In the end we see that the female scientist is not dead and told to start phase 2. The movie ends here.